All right, everybody, we're taking a look at the forecast here as we head towards the middle of the week. Again, maintaining a heat advisory for some areas. Understand it's going to be hot everywhere. This just outlines the locations where we're expecting to see those potential heat index factors upwards of 105. Again, very similar to what we've had on Monday and Tuesday. That'll be the case on Wednesday. Temperatures from a standpoint of summertime, well, they were up there today. We had highs in the mid 90s across much of the state. Not a whole lot in terms of rain here at this hour. Most of that is fizzling out across southern Alabama. Look at central Alabama. Nothing really doing there. We had some showers on the east side of the state, but again, the coverage not great. The lone cluster of thunderstorms here at 9 o'clock down I-65 region. So again, radar's quieting down. And with that, we're going to go to the upper air look. I think this can tell a lot about what we're going to see here from a pattern perspective. So this is beginning Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock. There's that area of low pressure, that trough that's moving through the Gulf. And again, this is not expected to develop into much. We'll hit that in a second. Ridging across the eastern seaboard will begin to expand westward, and that will have an impact on our overall temperatures and our pattern heading into the weekend. Friday, we're looking at that centered right off the South Carolina coastline. But look what happens over the weekend. This begins to build and shift west. So when we talk about drier conditions, hotter conditions in the summertime, a lot of times that has to do with the positioning of a ridge. And this one will be strengthening. Now, until then, Friday and Saturday, we will have a south and southwesterly flow, both aloft and at the surface. That's typically at least conducive to better rain chances across the southeast, so we'll probably see those as our highest coverage days. But then, as this continues to build the ridge and expand westward, we're going to trend drier. We're going to trend hotter. You can see those atmospheric heights, those more brick red colors indicating there's a hot atmosphere, a hot layer below there, and that'll be the case as we roll into next week, as we'll probably continue to see high temperatures in the middle 90s through this forecast period. So look at the 5-day rain totals here, and this more so just showing that the possible accumulations from this little tropical disturbance that'll be moving through here. But overall development not expected. We will have more tropical moisture along the coast, and that's where our rain totals will be highest. Wednesday's high temperatures, middle 90s again for much of the state. Again, very much going to be correlated with when we see the rainfall and how much. Rain, cooled air, all that influences our high temperatures. Thursday, you start to see those heat levels come down statewide as more rain will be around, more of an easterly flow coming from the Atlantic side. Often when we have an easterly wind, we're tapping into that Appalachian air mass, and it's usually just a little bit cooler. So look for temperatures to ease just a little bit. Let's go temperatures from the European model. This is Friday at 3 o'clock, depicting once again upper 80s to low 90s. That'll be a common theme through the weekend, especially the southern half of the state, which will probably see more cloud cover and more rain. Look for highs to be a little bit closer to 90. Further to the north, we could have temperatures in the lower 90s. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of mid-90s through at least Saturday and perhaps Sunday. We start to warm back up again on Monday, and I think Monday and Tuesday of next week is where our high temperatures will once again be in that middle 90s range as rain chances go down and that ridge builds. Wednesday's high-resolution model showing that, again, the focal point of the rain will be to the south. But we also have some thunderstorms coming out of the southern Appalachian region, and those will be what we have to watch moving into northern and central Alabama. Again, scattered thunderstorms will be focused along Florida's Big Bend, along the southern half of Alabama. Coverage is not overwhelming, but will be highest during mid to late afternoon hours, likely fizzling as we head towards about 9, 10 o'clock. Let's look at our rain chances off the NDFD. And once again, we're looking at our lowest rain chances to the north and west, highest to the south and east, including the Wiregrass region, Dothan, Geneva, Andalusia, Enterprise, Daleville, Abbeville, all the way up towards Lake Eufaula there. Day 2, same deal, a little bit further to the north, south of Montgomery, Monroeville, Troy, Andalusia, Dothan, all in that higher range of coverage and probability. And same deal on Friday. You'll notice that expands a little bit further to the north. I think in central and northern Alabama, our best rain chances are going to be Friday as well as into Saturday. All right, so that segues me into this. Again, the NHC just put this out earlier Tuesday evening, 10% chance of development across the north and central and western Gulf over the next 7 days. Very low chance, but you can't ignore any low this time of year that forms. And we have a broad area of low pressure, and that's going to be moving into the Gulf here, moving forward over the next 48 plus hours. This is a look at that on our future view product, the European model, and again depicting a weak low moving into the central Gulf. This is by 4 o'clock on Thursday. We'll notice the kind of the low pressure axis, trough axis, if you will, south of New Orleans. And the moisture fetch going to be throwing showers and storms up into southern Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia through that period. Again, the further north you get, the lower those rain chances become. Friday, again with the help of a high pressure to the east of the Florida Peninsula. Notice there's a channeling effect. You got the low in the western Gulf, the high over the Atlantic, and then that in between there you have southerly flow. So that's why I think our richest tropical moisture will be in place on Friday. Best chance of rain, though not everywhere will see it. Saturday, we still have that same setup, a southwesterly flow at the surface. But after that, high pressure begins to shift. It'll be due south of us on Sunday and into early next week. As it builds over the Arc-La-Tex region, we'll have back to a northwesterly flow, deterring overall rain coverage. So this is a tropical depression wind probabilities, and as you can see, as we head towards the end of the week, it fades by Sunday. Really, if we see development, it'll be Thursday, maybe Friday, likely south of Louisiana. Again, strongest end will probably be some sort of a tropical depression if we see that at all. Future casts along the beaches. We've got beginning Wednesday, low rip current risk from near Port St. Joe, Mexico Beach, all the way over to Dolphin Island. Isolated thunderstorms becoming a bit more widespread, especially after 3 o'clock. So if you're going to be beach bound tomorrow, we will have thunderstorms moving in, and these will be coastal moving into the Gulf. So this can usually signify a bit better coverage. And then our rip current risk will increase to moderate as we go into Thursday. Again, with that low moving through, we will have scattered thunderstorms possible throughout the day, but it will not be a washout. Just one of those afternoons where we'll have to keep an eye on the radar. And the surf outlook for Friday, 2 to 3 feet. Up until then, 1 to 2 feet. And Wednesday's low rip current risk will culminate into a moderate and then high by Friday. So as always, we tell you to keep an eye on things, and we will do just that here in the ABC 3340 weather office. Temperatures at 9 o'clock, I'll leave you with this, 88 in Birmingham, 87 in Tuscaloosa. A bit cooler where we've had the rain in southeast Alabama, but heat continues as expected for this time of year. No surprise, hottest time of the year, late July, first half of August. So it is here, folks. For you warm weather fans, enjoy. We got several more weeks of this before we see any break in the heat. That's your forecast. Y'all have a great evening.